Hey guys, I'm Dav, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here with Morathi and the Dark Elves. Yes, indeed. It's been a while since I've taken Morathi out for a spin. That sounded a little bit worse than it should have, but anyway, we're going to take her today versus the chivalrous Bretonnians. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list. Morathi's spell loadout, for those of you who are curious, we've got a Deadly Onslaught, which I honestly probably should have cut, but oh well. Soul Stealer, in case I need to heal her back up. Power of Darkness for additional Winds of Magic. Pit of Shades is very good against Cavalry now, especially if you overcast it. It can do a huge amount of damage, very, very useful. We've also got Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma to once again slow down and damage enemy heavy cavalry. She's also got this Enchanting Beauty, which is going to be very useful against Bretonnia, minus 8% charge bonus and minus 9 melee attack in an area of effect around her. She can also take an item that gives additional melee attack and so on debuffs if she's in melee, but I opted not to do that here. Also greater on Arcane Conduit for lots of Winds of Magic. And yeah, she's also got the lore attributes for both Lore of Darkness, which is minus 15 armor, and the additional power recharge of Life Leeching. So, in terms of infantry, we've got 4 units of Dread Spears, 2 in the center, 2 out on the flanks, 2 Blackguard of Nagarond, a Death Hag here in the center with the Cauldron of Blood. That gives area of effect physical resistance, also has Fear and Terror, in addition to this Fury of Cain, which can give a friendly unit 26 melee attack, 18% charge bonus, and extra weapon damage, but it also makes them rampage. We've also got 2 Cold One Chariots, the Lizard Limos indeed. These guys are pretty decent in a lot of situations. They have that armor-piercing missile attacks. They're going to be pretty solid against heavy cavalry. They also do armor-piercing in melee, so they're going to be good against any kind of infantry. They can even hold their own if supported properly by like spears and so on against enemy heavy cavalry. We've also got 3 units of Dark Riders with repeater crossbows for that mobile armor-piercing missile fire. That about rounds out my build. Let's go ahead and look at my opponent. He's got 1 unit of Knight Errant over here on the low ground. Royal Pegasus Knights, which you don't see too often, but are going to be definitely a huge danger to Morathi because they can't actually catch her. That being said, I don't think their pathing will allow them to effectively attack her, so we'll have to see on that. Hopefully I don't get caught, but if we do, we'll see. We've got a front line here of peasant mobs with some spear men-at-arms with shields and regular men-at-arms in the center. 4 peasant arrows, 2 of them have pox arrows, single men-at-arms with polearms in the center. The Blessed Field Trebuchet, we've got Louen Leoncoeur, King of Bretonnia, up in the air. He's got pretty much all his stuff, including the Sword of Couronne. And over here we do have 1 more unit of Knights Errant over on the low ground. So let's go ahead and kick the battle into full gear and we'll watch it unfold. First things first, just going to kind of be flying around with Morathi and getting in with these Cold One Chariots to kind of probe my opponent's formation. He doesn't have a whole lot of heavy cavalry that I can see, so we're just going to kind of come in, try and get maybe some quick early charges to break up this peasant formation and see what we can do. Obviously, I do want to attack since my opponent's got that Blessed Field Trebuchet to make some okay contact against the Blackguard of Nagarond. Honestly, against the Dark Elves, though, I'd probably say you could go with the regular Field Trebuchet. You don't really need the magic damage against the Dark Elves, just in my opinion. But we're pushing up with the Dark Riders with repeater crossbows over on this flank, trying to get some shots off on these Knights Errant, getting in and around with these Cold One Chariots here. These Cold One Chariots have been caught a little bit by these Pegasus Knights here. You can see Louen Leoncoeur flying out to support. We are going to drop that Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma and then pull away with the Chariots as we bring in the Dread Spears here to provide that nice anti-large. We obviously don't want to get these Cold One Chariots enraged. If they take too much damage, they can go berserk and go out of control. So have to be careful about that. This Blackguard of Nagarond has taken some pretty substantial damage, and you can see the chase is on Louen. His hit his charge speed. He's normally, let's see, I think he's about 100 speed. Yeah, 100 speed, whereas Morathi is only 105, so she's not that much faster than Louen, especially because my opponent has brought a damsel here, where is she? Lore of Heavens, which if we go ahead and just briefly take a look at the Lore of Heavens lore attribute, it is every time you cast a spell, it only affects flying units, but it does give them minus 24% speed and melee defense, so every time she casts that, I'm going to get my speed and melee defense debuffed on Morathi anytime she casts any spell. Looks like she's carrying... let's actually look here. Wind Blast, I believe that is. Yep, Wind Blast, Comet of Cassandora, and Chain Lightning. So just the area of effect damage spells, looking to break up armored infantry. Pretty decent build overall. I would say a little bit lacking on the Grail Knights, but other than that, I do like it quite a bit. You can see the Knights Errant coming in here, going to be getting a charge, inundating these Colon Chariots a little bit, but there are Blackguard of Nagron and Dread Spears on station. We're doing a bit of a drive-by here with Morathi, trying to get Louen to take a bunch of this armor-piercing missile fire, and it's working relatively well so far. Fortunately, those Royal Pegasus Knights are coming back. Another Melkoth Mystifying Miasma on them, but they are going to charge down into these Dark Riders, so I'm going to have to be careful about that situation. You can see the main line engagements unfolding pretty well. My infantry are going to win out. Obviously, the peasants are not going to be able to stand up to this, and you can see we're dropping this Overcast Pit of Shades right on top of this Knights Errant. Yeah, a little bit overkill for a unit of Knights Errant, but you can see they're just going to take a ton of damage. And the thing is, with Pit of Shades, now it holds cavalry models in place because it keeps them stagger locked. You can see that unit of Knights Errant pretty much just got deleted, as did those Spearmen at Arms. So pretty good situation. I'm going to dive down onto this unit of Blackguard that had gotten into the rear line here and is on my opponent's archers, because I want to try and tie up Louen with these Blackguard here. So obviously he has the charge bonus reduction and melee attack reduction from Morathi, and we're just going to pull away, allow those Blackguard to come in and get some nice attacks here. You can see they are going to do a lot of damage to Louen Leoncoeur here. Their anti-large armor piercing in the mainline fight. Things are going pretty well. My micro is not super on point because I'm super focused on keeping Morathi alive and not getting killed by Louen. But you can see the peasant archers have now fixed their focus fire on the Death Hag, which is exactly what they need to be doing. Unfortunately, the terror's not kicking in because of that Grail Relic there in the center. But again, just diving down onto the ground with Morathi and then inundating Louen with these Blackguard of Nagron. And at this point, Lowen's low enough. I have a... let's see, just everything that's being popped here, because there's all kinds of stuff going on. Louen Leoncoeur's got the Lion Shield and Standing Your Ground, putting his melee defense up to 72. He's also popped the Sword of Corone, debuffing Morathi down to only 10 armor and 13 melee defense, so she is going to take some damage there. Likewise, though, I've popped Soul Stealer here, so I'm going to be regaining some hit points. Morathi will be healing a bit here. She's also got anti-large armor piercing. It is worth noting, not terrible combat stats, especially with this little melee attack buff she's got here from... let's see, the Murderous Prowess that's just popped off. So let's go ahead and watch. It's a very, very clutch, key late-game engagement here with the Blackguard of Nagron and Morathi taking down King Louen Leoncoeur. Will they be able to bring him down before he brings down Morathi? It's a very, very close battle, but at the end of the day, Louen is going to go down here, and Morathi will survive with about 1,300 hit points fairly comfortably. Although, all of a sudden, all these peasant arrows start opening up shots on Morathi, and I'm out of there, just immediately up and out of there. I do not want to take that missile fire. She does not have the armor to take that, so we're going to fly up and around, try and pull up a little bit more magic from some of these cheaper units over on this side, and then go drop another Melkoth Mystifying Miasma to see off those Royal Pegasus Knights there. Death Hag still alive in the center, has taken quite a bit of damage, but now you can see finally that Morathi's relatively safe. I'm able to finally micro my infantry effectively and push through to the second line. Likewise with the chariots, they didn't really take too much damage. You can see this one is actually not down any unit models, but they are enraged. But we are going to now get into the second line here with the chariots and just inundate all these peasant units. You can see the Death Hag rolling up still. Morathi did drop that Melkoth Mystifying Miasma on those Royal Pegasus Knights, and at this point the Bretonnians are going to hit army losses, having seen their king get downed by the mother of the Dark Elves, I guess you could call her. I'm not really sure what her title is, but anyway, fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. It's not too often we get to take Morathi out for a battle, so fun to take her out this time. I do think that the Bretonnian matchup is one that she could potentially be pretty good in. Louen Leoncoeur is a huge risk, but you don't typically see Royal Pegasus Knights in this matchup. It's a little bit of an odd pick, I think. They did okay in this battle. They were able to rack up 73 kills and did actually get an XP chevron. But at the end of the day, I think it would have been better to have Grail Knights on the ground. Louen Leoncoeur getting pulled around and kind of pulled into that unfavorable situation by Morathi is a little bit unfortunate. When your opponent's doing that, you know, when you're chasing your opponent's flying lord, you got to be very careful if they have elite tier halberds on the ground. You know, the smart thing to do in that situation is to go to your elite tier halberds and try and stand on top of them so you don't take so much damage. And that we were able to do that fairly effectively. You can see this Blackguard of Nagaron, 129 kills, and racked up 3 XP chevrons over the course of the battle. The XP chevrons and the Dread Spears were there to begin with, but this Cold One Chariot also got 53 kills and a couple XP chevrons. The other one 62, no chevrons, but 68 kills on Morathi herself with that nice Pit of Shades there. That's pretty much where the majority of those kills came from, maybe a couple from the Melkos as well, but then also taking down Louen, or at least helping to. And yeah, overall it was a super fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.